Hello and welcome to Commodity Champions. I'm Manisha Gupta, and the natural diamonds industry seems to be under a bit of a pressure with the prices falling nearly 6% in this year alone. As per the Zielinski Global Rough Diamond Price Index, the prices have declined by almost 30% from its all-time highs hit in August 2022. Now, experts blame many factors for the decline in the diamond prices and the diamond demand as well, whether it has to do with economics globally or with the Indian markets as well. But going forward, what is really that the street is looking for, and what are the expectations from the new government now? For that, we are now joined by Mr. Vipul Shah. He is from Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council. Mr. Shah, hi, thank you so much for joining us. Well, first of all, in the prices itself, because that really seems to be a big blazing headline with the kind of decline that we've seen in diamond prices, what would you give that to?
Good evening, Manisha, and thank you. First of all, I would say the prices has gone down. It's all on demand and supply. And currently, if you see, there are a lot of challenges last year, and there was a correction in prices. If you see, US markets have performed well as far as our exports are concerned. But at the same time, Far East, where China is one of the major consumers, and that has a completely post-COVID, it has not picked up at all. So that was the main cause, because we cannot forget that kind of big market, because 40% of the market share is with China and surrounding countries. So that was one of the reasons where there was a demand supply issue, and that has been now taking place, because one thing is very important in the natural diamond process. You know, where the supply is concerned, the supply can be controlled. So that's a very positive sign, and I'm confident with the recently JCK show, which took place right now just last week, which got ended. And there was a strong sentiment were good, spirits were high, the US market is yet looking good, data over there is yet good. So we personally are confident that the US market will perform well for this year, as well as for Far East. We will be working hard on this Chinese market. We need to spend more on marketing, and we'll make sure that the diamond desire is there for everyone.
You know, since you've mentioned, and that was a question that I was going to take later on in the show, Mr. Shah, but, you know, diamond as a product has been all about emotion, sentiment, pushing it through in various forms through the year. But would you say that there has been a bit of a lack when it comes to advertising, campaigning, marketing diamond in the last couple of years, perhaps?
Yes, I personally feel this is a segment where we need to work together. It's all the stakeholders of this industry need to come together. There has to be enough spending to be done, because we need to understand what exactly and in which market, why the sentiments are down, and especially we need to run the program accordingly to that market. So currently we don't see any issues as far as US markets are concerned. The demand over there is strong. But as far as Chinese market is concerned, you have to understand one thing. The Chinese people post-COVID, they lost a little bit confidence on this segment as such, because when after COVID, during COVID times, they found it difficulty to encash it, and that was one of the major reasons. So we need to bring back the consumer confidence in this product. Need to bring down with the marketing campaign, emotions, and to believe in this product. And I'm sure with a good amount of marketing spend, this segment will be doing good.
Well, absolutely. For the last couple of years, Mr. Shah, I mean, I myself as a consumer haven't seen much spoken about diamond in a good light, in a saleable light. So would you say that a lot needs to perhaps work on? Because what we perhaps see right now is individual jewelers, individual diamantiers talking about diamonds, but not collectively as an industry.
Yes, that's right. So that is where now we all are working. The council is also working to bring all the stakeholders together, and we'll make sure that for this segment, we'll be spending a lot on the marketing campaigns and into the areas of market where this funding is required.
Mr. Shah, you spoke about China and you also spoke about US, but within the Indian market as well, the industry has been slightly jittery here. We've seen that last year. As you said, the supplies were stopped at one point in time to ensure that the markets could be corrected or balanced well. For the Indian markets now, whether it's about imports, exports, or the domestic demand for diamonds, the consumption, how are you looking at all of those numbers?
To be honest, the domestic market has really performed well. You've seen that it is growing, and you see like almost more than 3,000 stores, new stores are coming up. But yes, there is a pinch of slowdown, and I think it will consolidate and it will take some time. And again, but domestic market looks good for the year 2024.
And what's your sense on the import numbers as well? Because the latest council data that I look at in the first quarter does show a mixed sentiment there, while gold as a commodity continues to outperform. Not the same case again with diamonds.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was just looking to the data for the first 2 months, April and May. The diamond segment, both in lab grown as well as in natural, we are down by almost 15%. But overall, we are at flat as far as exports are concerned compared to last 2 months, because plain gold and jewelry has performed really well. And that is because all thanks to our Commerce Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal ji, for the FTAs, which has really helped for this segment.
How are you looking at overall category also doing? But because it's not that the whole market doesn't perform, would you say that the smaller diamonds perhaps have continued to do well, or the higher category or caratage diamonds have done? How are you segregating the whole industry?
See, there are two ways to look at. One is on the demand point and one is profitability. On the demand front, we don't see any issue as far as the small diamonds are concerned. Yes, on the large sizes, yes, there are certain issues as far as demand is concerned. But again, in small sizes, there is a big issue as far as the midstream is concerned. The profitability is where we all are fighting. So yes, with the profitability back into the business, demand can be created with well marketing spend. I personally feel this segment of natural diamond should be performing well compared to last year.
So going forward now, how do you look at the India strategy, Mr. Shah? What is it that you're looking for as the new year begins? What is it that you're anticipating from the government as well in sense of policies and reforms? I mean, various sectors that we speak to do believe that in the first 100 days, their sector will see some push or some positive reform coming in. For the diamond as an industry, are you anticipating something?
Yes, I personally feel it's a very good news that we have Mr. Piyush Goyal back in the Commerce Ministry, and that makes our life more easy because he is understanding the whole segment very well, and it will be easy for us. And there are certain issues, burning issues as far as the industry is concerned, and we will be making sure that this time we will be taking it forward once again. And before this July budget, hopefully our demands will be considered. I will be sharing with you all the details wherever when we are working on the budget proposal. But yes, surely we are looking forward from the support of the ministry for this segment.
Mr. Shah, also, well, we've spoken about what all is happening within the sector directly, but indirectly as well, there have been concerns globally. So while US and China haven't done so well, would you say Middle East perhaps seems to be pushing up in or picking up in some sense, because the numbers there are slightly better?
Yeah, agreed. I just want to just correct you. US has not, US has performed well comparatively. Okay. Middle East is doing good. Domestic market is also doing good. It's only the Far East Asia, Chinese market, which is not performed well, where we all are working towards that market. And with sure good amount of spending on the marketing side, we feel we should get back to track.
Mr. Shah, also with the whole concerns around Russia restrictions, how has that impacted the Indian industry overall? And are we still feeling that impact?
Actually, to be honest, not yet. I'll tell you the reason behind it, because you see it's the demand and supply. So we are fighting currently is the demand. We are not fighting the supply chain right now. Once the business is started growing, yes, we might be feeling the pinch in the coming months later on as far as supply is concerned. So honestly, we are not looking into the supply chain right now. We are just concentrating on the demand front.
Point taken. So while we have spoken about a whole host of challenges, Mr. Shah, I also want to understand on what are the better opportunities that you're looking forward now. So if there is a roadmap that you have created for this financial year, what are the plus points and what are the opportunities that GJEPC is putting out?
So yes, GJEPC will be working hard. We'll be looking a lot of initiatives will be taken as far as demand is concerned. With a lot of exhibitions, we are looking forward working starting from this IHS, our premier show, which is coming up in the month of August. So we'll try to bring on all international customers. We'll be making sure the Asia Pacific and South Asia, all the major customers are brought in. We need to work together, bring that confidence back and make sure that we create a huge opportunity for our members.
All right, Mr. Shah, we look to a brand new year forward. And obviously, as you said, you will be sharing with us the detailed budgetary presentation as well. The expectation is that in the month of July, when the Finance Minister puts it out, a lot of sectors perhaps would be taken into consideration, and gems and jewelry is going to be one of that. Thank you so much for taking time out for us today and detailed discussion on gems and jewelry as well that you've provided with us. With that, we are heading into a short break, but coming up from the natural diamonds, we shift focus to lab-grown diamonds. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Commodity Champions, and the diamond industry is seeing a rise in popularity of lab-grown diamonds, also known as green diamonds. Why are they garnering more attention from consumers, especially the Gen Z and millennials? Lab-grown diamonds don't cause as much environmental harm. They have a high potential for creativity, and they are much cheaper than the natural diamonds. To understand this developing trend, I am now joined by Smit Patel. He's director at Greenlab Diamonds. Smit, hi, thank you so much for joining us. And well, yes, this is an area which has taken the world by a storm with the kind of awareness, understanding, almost everybody Googling up. Wherever you sit, people are discussing on what the lab-grown diamonds are about and how much are they priced and what all and where all can you find them and etc. But I really want to understand from 2015, when it wasn't so much of a buzzword, to 2024, where almost everybody understands about it, how has been the last 10 years for you?
Thank you so much for having me on the show, firstly. I would like to say the product speaks for itself. We have not had any mass marketing as of yet for lab-grown diamonds. The consumers are the ones who have been finding out about this through word of mouth, through understanding how this product is made. The transparency of the product is available everywhere on the internet. And I think that's the most attractive point to the consumer. The process, the transparency of this diamond is really available for everyone to see. And the product itself speaks for itself and has been promoted like in the same manner.
Smit, I understand that there were a few who started this, and now in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, there has been an influx of newer companies who want to be part of lab-growns. How many reactors are there right now? How many units and how many more companies in the last 5 years which are now part of this business?
I would like to split this in two different verticals. The gems, the cutting and polishing industry that has been very popular in Surat. I would like to actually say that most of the factories, most of the big names have started a vertical in which they cut and polish lab-grown diamonds. That has been very good for the city. That has been very good for the hardworking employees that have been associated with this industry. And it has given a new blank canvas, I would like to say. The second part of this is the jewelry industry as well. The lab-grown jewelry market has been expanding as we speak. We had an amazing JCK show. Till now, the most common goods that were being sold were the low-hanging designs, the common studs, the rings. But like you rightly said, this has opened up a creative, new direction creatively, where people are coming up with new designs, new jewelry products, using diamonds in different ways to enhance the jewelry. And that is where lab-grown has been shining the most.
Smit, also, the only thing that the lab-growns do not take so well is the pricing part of it. Yeah. How are you addressing that?
So we knew the day when this industry was coming up, there is no monopoly of such sorts, and competition was going to drive the pricing down. But I believe the market has pretty much reached a very stable scenario in which the demand and the supply of what kind of diamonds your factory produces, what niche you're working on, will drive the pricing of the product. So, our reactors, for example, we can grow every diamond above 10 carats, but that doesn't make sense for us to do. So as a company, we have to decide what the future prediction of the demands from different places around the world is and plan a strategy accordingly. I think that will be a bigger driver of this industry rather than anything else.
But the kind of volatility that we've seen in prices, Smit, how is industry overall addressing it? I mean, I get your point that there are too many people and it still is a very fragmented one. You still are yet to form a proper council and come together and deal with this, collectively. But until then, and how much time do you see for that to come in? Because until that is fixed, I'm assuming the pricing and the resale issues are something that you'll have to continue to deal with.
I think this industry was in the teething period as of now. We didn't know where it could go. Everyone was just jumping in because it was a new industry. But I think now more strategic planning and more creative thinking towards this product has been taking place as we speak. There has been an uptick in some prices in particular products where it wasn't seen before in the previous 3-4 years, where we only saw drops. So that's a very positive sign for this industry. We did know that the prices were going to get corrected because it's a new industry. The price point that it started at was very high because the supply was very low and the demand was much more than what we expected it. So therefore, the pricing was very high. The cost of this product has not decreased in the previous years. It is only the supply that has increased, transparency has increased, and hence the prices have corrected, I would say, not dropped.
Okay. How have you seen the growth really within Indian markets and the global markets as well? We do understand that whether it's about natural diamonds or lab growns, US continues to be the big market there. So when it comes to lab growns, and there are various ways of making it, Smith, I was reading somewhere that there are 22 ways of creating lab grown diamonds, but we all know of those two which perhaps are the most credible. So take us through that too.
Yeah. So, the first diamond was actually created in 1952. So the technology has always been evolving. Of course, the CVD technology is the latest technology that is available and adapted by most of the Indian growers. And the diamonds that are created through CVD technology are the purest form of lab-grown diamonds out there. So I think that is the future for now. The second part about the demand or where how the markets are reacting. In America, 2020, there were 30% retailers that kept lab-grown diamonds. In 2023, it became 80%. That kind of jump has only been seen because the people wanted this product and the demand was rising. And speaking about India, we see a similar trend. India is today where America was a few years ago. The demand has just started, the spiraling effect has begun, and people have started to ask for diamonds, lab-grown diamonds as well. So a lot of new people will be introduced to diamonds, and that is thanks to lab-grown diamonds.
Smith, earlier, a couple of years ago, perhaps it was a shop-in-shop kind of opportunity that the lab-growns had. But a lot of people that I'm speaking to are also opening standalone shops,
Yes.
stores, etc., which are only giving lab-grown. Is there that kind of a demand there?
Yeah, I would like to add that kind of things are happening faster than anyone expected. So we did expect a few stores to come up in India in the coming years, but the amount of stores that are coming in each and every city and not particular region. This is happening in Delhi, this is happening in Hyderabad, this is happening in north, south, east, west of India. So that's a very positive sign for this industry, and I think this is just where the journey begins. And of course, there will be a lot of ups and downs, a lot of new innovation and design and technology that will take place and drive this market forward.
Also, talk to me about what kind of growth are you anticipating going forward from here? Because yes, there was a rage, and there are a lot of reports suggesting that the rage is done with, and now the kind of growth that we saw perhaps in last 2 or 3 years is not what you will see a replica of in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, of course, when the industry is new, we see a much faster growth because it was a completely blank industry. There were not a lot of players. Now that the competition is increasing, I think strategic growth is what people will be striving towards, making their company go towards specific niches, even in the lab-grown industry. And I think that's where the space for growth is going to come from. Secondly, the jewelry segment is just at the nascent stage. Like I mentioned previously, the designs that are coming out right now are just the basics because that was the demand. Now people are asking for more creative. The same people have bought the basics, want to explore. They want to create new designs. They want to understand. They want to be comfortable wearing new designs. And that's where lab-grown diamonds' second era in the jewelry will start.
Okay. Smith, also, a final question, because all sectors are looking at the new government and the budget that's upcoming. What are you expecting in sense of lab-growns?
So we have had tremendous support from the government for the lab-grown industry, mainly because, it is a completely made in India product where we are mostly not dependent on anything for imports. We use a green energy using the solar power plants or the wind power plants. We grow in India, we cut and polish in India, we set it in jewelry in India when we export it around the world. So we have always had support for this industry since the time that they've learned about, the government has learned about this segment. And we believe that this continued support will continue in the future. I believe the next segment people will look at is how we can make these factories even more green, how we can encourage them to put solar plants and wind plants to make sure that the energy they use to generate these diamonds or create these diamonds will be completely coming through solar plants or wind power plants as well.
Just time enough to squeeze in one more question, Smith, and this is about, one is of course jewelry and bespoke jewelry at that. I mean, you can create on what you want from this one, but lab growns also have various other industrial uses that we've. How much of that is a reality in India right now?
So most of the companies we know are working at some extent to the other to work in its optical, microprocessors. There's an endless sea of possibilities when it comes to using lab-grown diamonds in the industrial space. Of course, every company will individually have to do their own R&D, invest time and space, because the best thing is you've gotten beautiful material that is diamond, with such amazing properties at the palm of your hand. So creating endless, but of course, there's a lot of hard work, R&D, competition from on top of that.
All right. Giving us a detailed outlay on what to expect from this sector. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Commodity Champions. News continues on CNBC TV18. Stay tuned.